Nowadays, it happens a lot that relationships are stuck between traditional ways of doing things and modern way of doing things. There's times where they used to say a man does certain responsibilities in a relationship and a woman is only allowed to do certain things in a relationship. And now people are wondering, should they modernize their relationship? Should they not? Should they use traditional ways? How's about we talk about being stuck between the two? Hi there, my name is Sophie Setone. I'm your life coach, a relationship coach, and passionate motivational speaker. I'm passionate about helping you brighten up your light that already exists. In today's video, we're talking about relationships, though there's traditional ways of doing things, the old ways of running a relationship, and there's also modern ways in which people are doing things in relationships nowadays. Are you stuck between the two? Which ones are you using? Let's talk about that. But later on at the end, I have a very powerful question for you that I want you to think about and answer and see what you can implement and not implement in your relationship. And for those that are single, maybe in the relationship that's coming your way. Let's get down to it. Remember, in modern days, or rather in the olden days, there used to be a thing where men only do certain roles in relationships and women did certain roles in the relationship. And there wasn't a swap or a mix, or maybe finding the other one doing what they were not meant to be doing because of tradition, of course. And then we moved, and now there's modern times where roles are switched. You find a man doing what used to be a woman's responsibilities in the olden days. So how do you do in your relationship? A lot of people find the modern ways as freedom that excites them to say, finally, there's certain things that can be implemented in the relationships. Whereas on the other hand, other people find that their ground has cracked in between and they don't know what to do because they've been using olden days, traditional ways of doing things in relationships. How do you do? That's a question that still stands. While we're on that, there's things that people used to go by, and I feel like it's the things that have been getting them stuck in relationships, because there's one thing that people used to do, which is doing ways in a way that you've inherited either from your parents, grandparents, or even role players in your life. Whatever that they were doing, people will just go and implement because that's what they saw, that's what they learned. Whether it works or not, people will just implement it. The other thing that people do that I feel like it needs to be re-looked at, it's the fact that people will just have a scoreboard in a relationship. Those vibes where one will be saying, I'm doing the most, I'm doing more than you are doing. You should be doing that and that because now I do more and all that. Sometimes not even saying it directly to your partner's face. The other thing that people do is being afraid to confront real issues in relationships. When you're feeling like we should be implementing this and that, but you're not literally sharing it with your partner, there's no way that they'll know. So at the end, you end up resenting them because you're feeling like they're not doing what you're thinking they should be doing. On the other hand, you're not saying it to them. So those are the things that I feel like relationships nowadays should look at so that they can see, how can we do what different? How can we do what in a sense that it becomes conducive for the partners, not what has been written by the society in nowadays or what was written in by the society previously, the traditional ways that I am talking about. All right, so what people can do now is to make sure that they check what works for them and what doesn't. All right. There's things that you might argue to say, oh, well, it's all traditional things, but they still work today. All right. And there's others where you can say, okay, these are modernized, but they still work in relationships. So remember, again, it differs from one relationship to another. And of course, it differs from one individual to another. But here's the thing. How about you try in a relationship to check who has what strong points? All right. So you need to check your partner's strength to say you are good at caring, for example, and maybe I'm good at managing, for example. Then you give each other roles to say, okay, I'll look at the finances and then you look at whatever that they are good at. So the best thing is to look at each other's strength. And maybe leave a little bit the genders to say, no, I'm a man, I should be doing this. And you are a woman, you should be doing this and that. All right. Look at what you are good at, where your strength lies. Then do that in the relationship. And maybe later on, you want to switch to say, how about you try and do what I have been doing? We are learning. Remember, the relationship must be in sync. People must be in sync when they are in a relationship. It must not be one-sided, and it must not be ran by a script that was ran or written rather by someone outside. All right. So what you do, if you've noticed that these are your strengths and you've implemented, you see they're working, and maybe have a little bit of empathy to say, let me try and do what you do so that I can understand how you do things. All right. Then you switch roles, for example, to say, okay, you've been doing the finances, let me do this for now and see. Then that way you get to explore and see where can you grow as an individual. And also, the relationship will definitely blossom, because at that time you will be growing each other. You will be making sure that wherever the one lacks, then they get developed at the same time. All right. So those are the things that I feel relationships should look at, rather than being stuck either on modern ways of doing things or on traditional ways of doing things. All right. So once that's been done, definitely you can picture that the relationship is now blossoming. You know your weak and strong points in a relationship. You know what you're good at, and you also know what your partner is good at. The next best thing that you can do is to make sure that you do not keep a scoreboard. All right. So don't go and say, I have been doing the most, or I am doing the most, therefore you must do 1, 2, 3. All right. So rather let them do what they're good at or what they can do at that time, and not keep a scoreboard, because that will definitely jeopardize the relationship. And I am sure that's not what you want to do in your relationship. All right. And also making sure that you both agree at what must be part of the relationship and what must not be. It must not be one-sided, or just implement without even informing your partner of what you have been thinking and what have you not been thinking about. All right. So for the relationship and people in a relationship to be in sync, things needs to be discussed and agreed upon equally. All right. So remember, I said I have a powerful question for you at the end. So I just want to ask you, in your relationship, do you follow the modern way of doing things because that's what you see on social media and that's what you think works, or that's what you envy? Do you follow traditional ways of doing things in relationships because that's what your grandma and granddad have been doing? Do you think it works? Did it work for them? How are you doing things in your relationship? Are you in sync with your partner? Are you happy with what you have been doing? And also, do you really have to follow any of those, or must you just come up with your own rules where you can implement and run your relationships? Please share that with me in the comment field. Please remember to like this video, share it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Remember, you can shine brighter.